Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for finding me here on YouTube. If you are new to my channel, I am an astrologer. I am an artist, author, and a bit of a mystic of sorts. This is very deep and real content that I put out here on this platform here on YouTube. And I also now have a Patreon. So I have started my Patreon. You can find me there where we can have deeper dives, and I do live on-cam Q&As. I have conducted my first one, and I will be coming back in the next few days to continue that Q&A. If you have a question for me or a topic that you'd like me to explore or unpack at great length, please leave them in the comments. Leave them in the comments here. I see them. I collect these questions and I save them for the Q&As. Okay, so you've probably seen by the title, let's look at Britney Spears' natal chart, her birth chart. So just by the way, if you like how I talk and how direct I am, how clear I am in my communication style, then you can get a direct reading from me. I do astrological chart readings. So that means you just go to my website, you fill out the details, or you click on the product, which is usually what most people get. It's the 30-minute reading. And you send in your date of birth, time, location, etc. And I go in there within 20 working days and I conduct your reading. And then I send you back a link and you can keep the link from me and enjoy your reading. Also, I do include questions in there as well. So areas of focus, family, health, wealth, transits, squares, orbs, bring it to me. Deeper, the better. All right. Britney Spears. I'm not surprised by what's happening with her. I'm not surprised in how this has all kind of turned out for her. I mean, who could be at this point? I think that the hungry audience of the world stage, especially when it comes to pop stars or celebrities, we know that most of them don't have happy endings. This is not a Cinderella story. This is a story that is as old as time. So Britney being in the state that she's in, if you're not aware of where Britney's at, she has recently deleted her Instagram account and has been doing really disturbing uploads. So people have been messaging me for a while now saying, could you please look at Britney's chart? Can you please look at her, what's happening in her life? And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm like, okay, let's just jump in and have a look. So she's in a bad state. You've probably seen the famous TikTok videos of her dancing with sharp knives. She also had a conservatorship that was placed over her by her alcoholic father. And it's kind of this kind of child star turned into an absolute nightmare. Hollywood chews you up and spits you out, And especially when it comes to America. Americans, they're so big and everything's so magical. And it's like a magical world. And we're going to build you up. We're going to make you a star. And then we build you up and make you into that star. And then we destroy you. We punish you. We fuck you up. We pull you apart, tear you apart. And you can shake the hand with Hollywood. You can get the record label. You can get the deals. But no one's getting off the hook. I often think, as an astrologer, when I'm already as I'm channeling now, I'm starting to channel. By the way, guys, I'm a medium. I channel energy as well. So I might be picking up on a few things. I'm starting to get it now. But it's like when I think of Hollywood, I think of the holly bush, the Hollywood tree, the holly tree. If you know, you know. It's very Neptunian. It's very Piscean. It's very illusion based. This is a place of dreams. And it's a place that attracts stars that get caught in its orbit and they get fucked up, And the thing about a star is that stars shine bright on the Hollywood Boulevard, but they burn out just as quick. And there's always another one to replace it. So it's kind of like a little bit of a factory of broken hearts. You know, I'm thinking right now as I'm channeling in, it's like Britney must have seen, as a child, she must have seen Hollywood and California as this magical Oz, you know, where dreams can come true. And, you know, so often it's the way, you know, it's a city of angels, but it's really more of the city of fallen angels. So, yes. And as I'm kind of starting to channel with Britney, I think like when I look at this person, I don't see, let's bring up a photo. I'm just going to bring up a photo and just tune in with her again because I had it here before. I don't see, like, this is a very innocent child. She's still, to me, she's still a child. There is a state of, the first thing that comes up when I look at photos of her now, it's a state of despair. It's a state of some kind of stage of arrested development that's kind of stuck. It's a little bit creepy in a way. It's a little bit like adult Disney vibes. It's someone who's kind of stunted. I do see this a lot psychologically with a lot of gay men. They kind of get to like about 18 or 17 mentally and everything kind of just stops. And that's because usually that's as far as their like cerebral cortex and shit. It's as far as they can go. They just stay in this frozen state of time. It's really quite sad and pathetic. And I've talked about this before, but with Britney, this isn't because it's like as far as her brain can go. This is because she didn't have a childhood that was normal. She did not. So it's like the first thing that comes up, it's like she was seen as this kind of golden egg in the nest. And it's like they just wanted to crack that egg. They just wanted to milk her, get money out of her, exploit her, and, you know, make her trapped. And now it's like she's kind of like, the first thing that I get, it's like she's trying to relive these years of loss of innocence. That's the first thing that's coming up. And just the extreme disappointment that I'm getting with her now. So it's like, I see this beautiful, shining girl that has become this kind of like, now we look at the photos, you can see in her videos and her uploads, it's like this kind of ruined creature. You know, it's like, it's really sad. And it, like, to me, this is not like, if you're a spiritualist and you're into like this type of chat and this type of depth of conversation, this is not something that is going to be like, oh, you know, I never saw this coming. Like, I would not be surprised if Britney doesn't make it to her next Chiron return. You know, she's only a couple of years older than me, but I mean, around 49, I think we're going to see potentially the end of Britney. So as an astrologer, I'm not looking at her transits yet, but I can probably safely assure you that she's going to have, you know, whether she goes back into like full, you know, restricted, tied down, fully medicated state of being. I mean, she could go back to that. It's a little bit Marilyn Monroe. That's the vibe that's coming through as I'm channeling. She's a little bit like this beautiful figure that was kind of, I would compare her story a little bit to Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of like this thing that is people just tried to exploit and use. And the feeling that I get around it is all family. It's like she was meant to be the thing that was supposed to bolster her family. So let's have a look and see where she was born. I think she was born in Kentwood in Louisiana. So she's a Southern girl. And I think that's part of Britney's Americana charm, is that she is so American. She's this beautiful, shiny beacon of energy and light and beauty, and she's very radiant. She was very sweet. I don't think I've seen her stumble in many interviews. I think she's got a humility to her. And I think that's because when we look here, she's a Sagittarius. She's like me. She's just straight up, down to earth. You know, she's very take you as, you know, face value. She's positive, or she was. You know, Sagittarius is an optimistic sign. You know, Sagittarius, Jupiter placements are big, they're bold, they want to do stuff, they want to move. And that's what's coming through. And now it's kind of like we see this kind of spun out, drained, kind of junky energy. It's like the dark side of the Capricorn, the dark side of Pisces. You know, Pisces get fucked over at every turn. I want to see where her chart's all sitting. All right, so let's have a look. So Miss Britney Spears, Miss Britney, is it? Yes, I don't have a middle name, but I think it might be Anne. I'm not sure. If you know her middle name, is it? Don't know. Anyway, it's not important. Sometimes I just think of these things. Okay, so her date of birth was December the 2nd in 1981. And the most correct birth time that I have for her is at 1:30 a.m. So it was a late midnight, after midnight labor baby. Okay, so she was. So Louisiana. So, I mean, that's America. It just related to her. You know, she was goofy. She flipped. She was just totally relatable. And I think it's interesting because she's kind of come into the human collective as this thing that has changed and shaped the world, which is what Sagittarius sun people do. But when I look at her chart, she's got her sun in Sag. She's got her ascending in Libra. It's very low to me. That's low. I'm not going to go into orbs in this one, but 2.39 degrees in a rising in Libra. It's a lot of, I've got to be beautiful. I've got to be perfect. It's a little bit of a people pleaser. She's gone along with things that she really shouldn't have. And then we've got her moon in Aquarius. That's what I was getting. It's like she's a pioneer in Aquarius is what to the world. You know, Aquarius moon people bring something into the world that shapes the world in a collective sense, you know, in values. So that's kind of what she's done to pop. That's what she's done to music. You know, she's shaped and built on what has come before her in her career, and then others have built off her or built off the top of her. Aquarius moon people have trouble with their family, and we know that she has. I think her mother's name was Lynn. Her sister, not sure if her sister's name was Jamie. I'm not sure if it was Jamie. Her dad was Jamie. I'm going to have a look at that in a minute. And then we've got her Mercury in Sagittarius. So she's got really good, she's got good communication skills. Okay, Mercury in Sag is all about expansion. It's a little bit dreamy, a little bit 12th housey to me. She gets caught up in illusions. Then we've got her Venus in Capricorn at 25 degrees. Oh, that is a very hard angle. Whoa, I will be looking at that and explaining what a Venus in Capricorn means. Very, very hard Venus in Capricorn problem there. And then we've got her Mars in Virgo. So that's the perfectionist. It's like as she's going to age, Britney is going to have a lot of problems reconciling her physical disposition as it atrophies through age. So it's like she will go back and revisit a lot of the times when she was, thinner, prettier. Virgo Mars people are in a competition with themselves. All right. So it's like she struggles with her own sense of perfectionism. I do come across a lot of Mars in Virgo people that are like dancers. They train really, really hard. They're very technical with their movement patterns. I would actually at some point like to look at, and it's bringing out this American trash tip part of when I used to watch like TV back in the day. There was a show called Dance Moms, and the woman that actually ran it, Abby Lee Miller, was a Virgo and a dance teacher. A lot of Virgo people are dancers or dance teachers. And it's like, point your toes, make it perfect, really vigilant. So it's like watching yourself in the mirror and counting those steps and getting it right or else. It's really hard. Well, it brings out the best in you to get the best technique. But Britney's a dancer, so Mars in Virgo would make sense, right? She can dance. She knows how to move, all right? And then we've got her Jupiter in Scorpio at 1 degree. I'd probably count that more in a Virgo. It's very restricted. That's a problem. Jupiter needs expansion, but it's in a restriction placement. That's not good. And then we've got her Saturn in Libra. Interesting. It's like she's got a lid on top of her. Saturn deals in karmic retribution and lessons and pain and suffering, and Saturn is what restricts us, and Libra is communication and thinking. Libra does have self-expression to it, but it's like it's got a lid on top of it. So it's like playing out against her Sagittarius sun. It's like she's got a lid. It's like she's got concrete put on top of her to keep her suppressed. Now, if you're a Sagittarius person, you need freedom. She's all about freedom. And she's got her Uranus in Sag. She's got her Neptune in Sag. Her Lilith, Lilith is in Sagittarius. Interesting. And then we've got her Sun in Sag. So she just wants to be free. She wants the ability to just be able to go down the street, fill up the car with gas, go buy some candles, get some shopping. Very down-to-earth, grounded person. That's what she really is. The problem is, with all of this Sagittarius in this kind of opposite energy against it, Neptune deals in heaven and hell. So it's right up at 24 degrees in Sag. So it's like, no, you're going to pay. You will suffer. So you want normality, but at the same time, you wanted to be the most famous person on the planet, and you were at one point. You're not getting off the hook. You're never going to have a normal life. So it's like a sea of cameras flashing and trying to get that shot. And, Neptune in Sagittarius, to me, I also know people with this placement is paranoia. So people that get close to you, that you feel like you can trust, people that you feel that you share things with, and they come around you. I've had this in my own life too. Like people, they get really close to you and back you and want to get behind you, but at the same time, they're selling your secrets. They're frenemies. They're not to be trusted. They're like parasites. Neptune in Sagittarius at that degree, to me, it's an anaretic degree. That is like people that present themselves to her as a friend are actually not her friend. They're there to basically exploit her, trap her. And to a Sagittarius, with all that horse energy, it needs a lot of space. Sagittarian people need a lot of air to move, to be free. You can't keep a Sagittarius in a pen, like a horse, tied up. It needs to be able to roam mountains and travel. And anything that suppresses a Sagittarius depresses them. It makes them feel so sad. And there's nothing more depressing in astrology than a trapped Sagittarius. It kills them. Believe me, I know. I've got a Sagittarius stellium. I get this. I'm getting Britney. I get it. Okay, let's continue and let's have a look and see what's going on. To me, when I look at this energy, it's like she's an icon. She's this kind of thing that people have been very obsessed with. It's a thing that has a lot of dimensions to it. Like she's a symbol of something to people, a symbol to kind of build you up, and then a symbol to be publicly vilified, publicly shamed. And with that Neptune in Sagittarius is about shame, being shamed. We've seen so many tabloids, shame her for just making mistakes, for her dress being too high, for that bad photo, for driving in the car with her kid on her lap behind the wheel, because all she's trying to do is protect her baby. That everything she does is shamed. Everything she does is magnified. Virgo Mars it's all magnified, and it's all playing out in public houses. I just want to see, what have we got in the fifth? I want to see where her fifth house is. I want to see what fifth house plays. Okay, wow. Okay, right. So yeah, that would make sense. Her moon is in the fifth house. She loves her children. She's very self-taught in a lot of ways. Fifth house moon is like her Aquarius aspect is playing out in a public house. So yeah, hard angle to have. But yeah, she's just flesh and blood. She's human. And this is how it works. In Australia, we have something here called the tall poppy syndrome, where if you do anything to tell people that you have a dream or you have a vision or you want to better yourself, particularly if it's to do with success around money and fame, in Australia, you will be met with nothing but hatred. Same with New Zealand, actually. It's very tall poppy syndrome. And it's just kind of how the country is here. It's all about like, who do you think you are? Like, you think you're a star? You think you're better than me? No, that doesn't happen for people like us. You have to fall in line and get a 9-to-5er and just be normal. And that's how it is here in Australia. You know, people have a hard time ever getting above anything. That's why don't share your dreams with people that don't support them, right? And then the other side of it, in America, it's like, we're going to build you up. We're going to get you there. We're going to, make you into this thing, this consumable product that can be consumed and sacrificed. That Neptune placement in Sagittarius is like being a lamb. It's like a lamb to slaughter. It's like being put on an altar and being like, she's been slaughtered. You got to have your fame and now we're going to destroy you. So they kind of build you up and destroy you later in Americana culture. In an Australian, South Asian culture, it's all about being humble, don't do anything, be normal. Okay, but this is not a normal human being by no stretch of the imagination. So I want to look at her first house. Let's have a look. So she is a Libra rising. So she's very, very charming. She's very impressionable. She's very sweet. Libra people can build a lot of repressed rage. Sagittarius has rage. I have rage, right? When I'm angry, I'm fucking mad. You will see it when I'm pissed. I don't hold anything in, all right? I'm all about getting that shit out, duking it out, fighting it, battling it out. So Sagittarius people, Aries people, and Leos, we do direct confrontation. That's how I approach conflict. I go there direct, I go legal, I go hard, I battle it out, I say my piece, I hold nothing in. I don't sugarcoat anything. All right, so I don't do passive aggressive. Sagittarius should never do passive aggressive. They do aggressive. And then after it's done, we've battled it out, we've got resolution, let's all just move on, that type of thing. What we have here with Britney is a rising Libra in a Sagittarius placement. So that's about, don't let anyone see that you're angry, hold it all in, don't let it out. You must be beautiful and perfect, like a little doll, kind of like John Benet Ramsey, this kind of constructed doll, like a vision of a doll that's perfect and beautiful. And you're not allowed to have emotions. It's all about suppressing and being pretty on the outside. All right, so that's what we've got here. And that's what we can see with her Saturn. It's all about suppression. That's why it explodes later. Like in her life, we saw her attacking a car with an umbrella and this kind of extreme overreach of freedom when she shaved her head. She was so suppressed and so held down and so controlled that it all just kind of exploded and it all just kind of came out. And then you see these very troubling, and that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing these very troubling verbal expressions that are really scary to listen to and watch because it's all of this suppressed rage that never came out because she had to be this perfect little doll. And that's a problem with like Virgo, Mars people and a Libra rising is it's a people pleaser. It's a servitude to others. And the problem is that can be exploited. I've got my Mars in Libra. Believe it or not, I've been too nice to people. I've let people overextend themselves under the guise of helping me, just like she has. And then tick, 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 years later, you realize they're not helping you. Nothing is free. They're just getting their hooks into you. Right? So that's what she's kind of gone through. Everyone wants a piece of her. Wow, I was just thinking that's one of her songs. You want a piece of me. It's like everyone, there you go. I just explained why that song is so, everyone wants a fucking piece of her. They want to eat her. They want to consume her. And what does she get out of it? Nothing. No. Okay, so her first house is playing out. Let's have a look. Pluto governs Scorpio. Sorry, frog in my voice. Let me have a sip of tea as I'm spilling the tea. The first house in astrology is how we express ourselves. It's our public image. All right, so that's what she's got. She's got that in this very sexual placement. That's kind of how the world sees her, as this sexual scorpion. She's very sexy. All right, it's playing out in a very, very sexual way. All right, so that's part of her persona, is having a flat tummy, being very pretty, being very beautiful, you know, and that's how she talks. She talks like a baby. She talks very sweet. That's how she was. Let's have a look. First house placements when the sun was actually in the third house, which would actually be making her a bit restless. So she probably has ADHD. She can't be waiting. She hates waiting. She needs something to do. So it's like people are giving her puzzles or video games on set when she's waiting around. I've been in TV before. I don't think people understand how slow the process of TV is. Like, to do one scene, people just see things on TV. People just see things on TV and they just go, oh yeah, it's all just done on live. No, it's actually, they do things called resets. So a reset of a new position of an angle can be like hours of waiting for them to reset that angle. Then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then they reset to a different angle. It would have taken, so when people see TV and stuff, you've got to understand there's a lot of what we call hurry up and wait. That would frustrate the shit out of her. So her sun is in the third house. So she needs constant stimulation. But the third house is also about like mental accomplishments, and it's about self-expression because it's playing out in Sagittarius. And yeah, and it's under the influence of the house of the Scorpion, sexual. That's her money maker. Shaking the ass. Yeah. Okay, her moon in Aquarius. Yes. Interesting. I mean, it's a bit alien. You know, moon in Aquarius people can get a little bit batty, a little bit nutty, a little bit like they get caught up in idealistic thinking with other people. They're people that can run away and get married in Vegas. A lot of alcohol involved. Didn't really think it through. Moon in Aquarius people, by the way, hot tip, they don't usually find their forever person until about their third marriage. So yeah, if you've got a moon in Aquarius, this is a sign that doesn't find peace, I find, when I look at charts, until later in their life. They've got a very strong, I don't fit in, I don't belong type of thing to them. They're Martians, all right? Not an easy placement to have. It's in the second house there. Okay, let's keep going. What have we got? What are we getting? All right, moon in Aquarius, yes, and it was where? In the fifth house. So that the fifth house deals in Leo. So that's like she's been groomed. All right, so as a kid, mummy, I can sing. Mummy, I can tap dance. Look at me. Mummy. It's all about like, it's expression. That's what I get there. All right, so it's like that aspect to her is playing out since childhood. It's been something there that potentially she's like born into I think she was born into poverty. You know, they were very poor, you know, the Spears family. And there we go. The fifth house, it's like they've seen this aspect to her that is like she could be the one to sustain us. She could be the one to support us. Let's build her up. Let's put that fifth house placement out there now. She didn't go to school. You know, that's probably, she did not have an ordinary childhood. Aquarius in the fifth house is not an ordinary childhood, and it's all about self-expression. All right, let's have a look. Oh, okay. As a Sagittarius stellium, what we really have here is this kind of beautiful storytelling. She is relatable and she tells stories. With her songs, she tells stories to others. That's what they do. All right. And then she's got a lot of Gemini energy. So she likes to take on a lot of characters. And we see that with her music, with her songs, with her expression. She wears wigs. She likes to be playful. She's like an inner child. I think if we got to know Britney more, we would just see this very damaged child. And that's where it's at. The energy I'm getting with her, it's like things feel very claustrophobic where she is and where she's been. Very limited. It's like she's been put in a box and she's been told to just shut up and stay still. Don't move, don't speak. It's kind of gagged. Libra rising people with that Mars in the Virgo, it is about like being blindfolded or being gagged. Not allowed to talk about that, not allowed to say that. Go over here, don't do that, do this. So it's like, the feeling I get here with it, it's like hell. And what's jumping out at me as well is that her Lilith is sitting in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius to me is like, when we look at Lilith, it's the thing that reverses us. And she is a Sagittarius. So her Lilith is against and going against the grain of who she is. So too much freedom is going to be bad for her. So that's why she needs to have relationships that are very grounded. She needs to kind of date a more of a structured person that will give her structure. Because I think Britney is a very traditional person. You know, I think at the time she didn't want to have, she wanted to have, you know, marriage, then a baby. She wanted to have this structure of wholesomeness. And the problem here with Lilith in Sagittarius is excessiveness. So sometimes she's got addictions. She doesn't know when to stop. She doesn't know when to shut her mouth. She doesn't know when to stop filming herself dancing crazy. She doesn't know when to stop eating. So it's very, very up and down. She needs to come out of her dark feminine and stop being, you know, and find a way for her to not be destructive. But it's like she's been exploited. She's been abused. That's what I'm getting. It's like her garden, her paradise became hell. It's like stormy placements. Let's have a look. I want to see what's playing out in the fourth house because it's the fourth. Oh, there we go. Her Venus in Capricorn in the fourth house is very, very hard. I'm going to talk about this actually. If you don't know, a Venus in Capricorn is someone who will struggle with family. And it's interesting because her Venus is playing out in the fourth house, and the fourth house is the opposition of Capricorn. And Capricorn's opposition is Cancer. So that would make, that right there is a massive part of her whole life, is this work exploration or work from childhood to be exploited by the fourth house, which is her family. So it's like oppression by, I don't like to say this word, but it's like oppression by the patriarchy. It's oppression by a male dad figure. It's oppression by Saturn. Saturn is the father. So it's like governed by a parental figure, governed by a higher power that is telling her what she can and can't do and is controlling her. She's been controlled. And so it's extreme angles here. A Venus in this placement in Capricorn is like, she doesn't have a place to rest her head. You know, she can't trust her family. She can't trust people. It's so hard for her. It's restricted energy within her family. Venus in Capricorn at that angle is actually betrayal from the family. So one of the biggest things that she's going to have to deal with is like her mother, her sister, her father, all trying to consume her, control her, use her. And that's the thing when I think of Capricorn, you know, when I think of Capricorn, it is the monarch of the Capricorn is the sign of utility, but it's also like the sign of I use you. You must be of function to me. So it's like her family saw her in that way from the start. So she was the one generating all this income for the family, and they're just sitting back. You just keep doing you, and you just keep doing this because it's like a cash cow. They just keep milking it and milking it and milking it until there's like, she's drained. She's totally depleted. You know, Venus, it's just, that to me is really a really, really hard placement. And we can see it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Britney move to a farm with some chickens and just quit all of this. You know, she needs to go back to, she's got to get out of Jupiter and come back into her groundedness. But yeah, the problem is everyone wants to exploit her. Her boyfriends, her husbands, they're just sitting back, getting child support, getting alimony, writing books about her, you know, feeding things to the media. She's paranoid. I would say she has Venus in the 4th house at that degree. It's like she's ruined. Yeah. This is sad. This is sad. It's like she's gone on an adventure and it's just ended up in this really fucked place that I don't think she's going to know how to get out of. It's just scrambled her brain. It's scattered her thoughts. Virgo in Mars. She's overwhelmed. I wouldn't be surprised if she can't even brush her teeth at this point. That's in the 12th house. So she wants to live in a bubble. It's like at the moment, what I get is that she's like living in this house and she doesn't leave the house. She's just so paranoid and like in a gated community, and she's just locked herself away to try and, you know, process her life. When I see a Virgo Mars placement aspected against her Capricorn, that's also like it's lineage. And it's like her karma and her suffering plays out in the family because it's all in that 4th house. So even her kids don't respect her. They don't see her as, like, they're laughing at her. That's what I'm getting. Her Mars in the 12th house is also like she's so idealistic and she's a bit spiritual. You know, she's got a spiritual aspect to her. That Mars in the 12th house is, you know, did she turn to Islam? I mean, I don't think it was her that did that. I think that might have been, what's her name? Oh, Lindsay, what's her name? Oh shit, she was in Mean Girls. I forgot. Oh my God, Lindsay Lohan like ran away to Dubai and turned to Islam to have her babies in, because there's no paparazzi over there. I feel like Britney would actually do better if she just went to Dubai. You know, it'd be better for her mental health than Hollywood would be. But I think it's kind of too late for that because she couldn't leave because she had her kids, I guess, and she couldn't just move away. Because that was Kevin Federline was the one that was like, when she failed to bring the kids back, because she lost custody of her kids at one point, I know, and then she failed to return her kids to him and he sued her. What a prick. Yeah, wow. I'm pulling in a lot right now in this reading. Oh, yeah, okay. Mars in the 12th house, it's like she needs to stay away from drugs. If she's on the drugs, she's going to be screwed. And she's very sensitive. You know, it's like the feeling I get with her Aquarius moon is a Martian, but it also is like in a domestic space. It's tormented. You know, when I think of Aquarius moon, I think of like a little bit like Van Gogh, you know, the artist like cut his ear off kind of thing. You know, it's like, I think her time with her creativity is over, you know, in terms of making albums and stuff. I feel like her peak has come and now she just needs to accept the new phase of her life now. I'm not even looking at the transits here, but that's what I'm getting. I just feel sad. This whole energy that I'm getting is just so sad. It's like a beautiful mermaid that got caught in a net. She's got a square between her Mars and Neptune, so that would make sense. It is about being trapped. She's got a lot of imagination and a lot of ideas. She's gotten a lot better at trusting her instincts though, but it's just like the damage is done, you know. Jupiter in Scorpio is in the 2nd house. Oh dear. She's got a very, very strong free will. Let's put it that way. And it's, Saturn in Libra playing out in the 1st house. Okay. It's like she's lost her self-trust. What I get here, it's like Dumbo. Think of Dumbo. That elephant. There's a scene in the Disney film, if you know the original animated film. It's this elephant in a circus that is, yeah, like it's an animal that's like put in a circus. And I think one of her albums was called Circus. I think that was one of her songs. I'm not sure, but it's like, her art and her music is self-deprecant of her. So it's like she's in a circus playing in a circus show. People come and eat popcorn and, she's whipped if she can't perform. She's punished. It's like she's got chains on her feet. That's what I get with her. And there's that scene there in Dumbo where it's like the mother is provoked because she's separated from her kids, from her baby. And then someone hurts or embarrasses her child, and all she's doing is trying to protect her child and herself. And then she's punished for it. Saturn at 19 degrees on that moon, it's like punishment from above. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if she'd been SA'd by her father looking at this chart, because there's such a strong father energy that's just sitting on top of everything here, that it's just like exploiting her, putting her back in her cage. Yeah. And then she's got to come out and perform and turn it on and be this happy person, when underneath she's actually really angry, and she's not allowed to let any of her out of anger. She's got to control her anger at all times. She's got to hide her anger, basically. Yep. Virgo, yeah, her Virgo in Mars is also a bit of a submissive person. So in a relationship, she can be the one to bring the money in, which is very masculine. So a lot of men can't really compete with the level of power that she has, which is also a problem. With that, just coming back to the Venus in Capricorn, it's like she dates people she works with. Venus in Capricorn, people do that. So it's like she dated her backup dancers. Justin Timberlake, she was in the Mickey Mouse Club with him. She dates colleagues. I don't know why Venus in Capricorn people do that. Never works out well, because they'll just use you to build up fame. That's one of the things I was talking about before in previous videos. Sexual marketplace value is that you'll never see celebrities dating Bob the Builder or Joe the Plumber. They're not going to date the guy that works at Walmart. You understand? Like, it's all in Hollywood. Everyone is using each other strategically to maneuver themselves higher up the totem, including her family. Yeah. This is hard. I feel sad. I just feel so sad for her. It's a Britney. This is a Marilyn Monroe thing. Her North Node in Cancer is learning to... Need another frog in my voice. I do a lot of talking. Yeah, it's like she's got to move away from that hold on her family from her past life. She came in and this has kind of continued, that she's been trapped by people, trapped by her family. That's, in time, I hope her kids come back around, but it's like, I doubt it. They're going to be turned against her. The music industry at some point will turn itself against her too if it can't exploit her. But yeah, she did do a memoir, I do believe. It was called The Woman in Me, and I think it did very well. It was where she talked about how Justin Timberlake made her have an abortion at home, and he kind of, he used her as well. He exploited her. Terrible. He's a fuckboy energy. He was very strategic from the start with like the band NSYNC and how he could date her to get one up on her. And, he wrote the song Cry Me a River, which is meant to be about her. And then she did a song called Every Time, which was a kind of like a revenge to him. So it's like the only way she can express herself is through her music, but she's got to be very ambiguous about it. She can't say it directly, because Libra rising people don't do direct. They do this passive direct thing. All right. And there's this thing that's interesting, because with her Sagittarius stellium, it's like as a Sagittarius stellium myself, it's about doing things that have not been done before. So she's kind of paved the way in her career. You know, if Britney didn't happen, would all these other artists have kind of come up underneath her and kind of, you know, piggybacked off what she created? You know, that's what Sagittarians do. They're a little bit like Aries. They pave the way. And she's done that. She's achieved that. But yeah, the North Node in her 10th house is control over her career. And her South Node it's against her South Node in Venus. So I really, really hope that Britney makes it to 50, because this is not looking good to me. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've just enjoyed just kind of channeling her energy. I do this kind of free association chats. Sometimes I go more that way than I do just looking at degrees and angles, because then it's just like, this is Sagittarius in yeah. And I just rather just keep it more spiritual. But this is how I see it. You know, this is a beautiful human that has been trapped in a cage, and 5 placements in Sagittarius. She needs to be with like a Taurus, you know. Sometimes I think I need to be with like more of like I'm a 12th houser. She's a, you know, I'm more of a mystic, but sometimes you need people that will be like, have your best interests at heart and are just like, you know, saving for the future, paying taxes, being aware of like, you know, regular schmegular people. She needs to be grounded, not controlled. She needs to be contained. Okay? Just saying. And that's what women ultimately want. They want to be contained. When she's in her feminine, her Mars in Virgo is beautiful. It's self-preservation and femininity. And that's when she feels most beautiful. When she's in love, she can fall in love really easily with all this Sagittarius placement. Sagittarians fall in love quick, you know. But unfortunately, her ascending in Libra is a little bit like it falls in love with the idealism of something. It falls in love with its projection of itself rather than what it really is. So illusions and delusions. And we know Uranus and Sagittarius, it's very difficult to prolong something that isn't real. So lots of rebirths for her as well in her life. Oh, I love you, Britney. I just think I've really enjoyed just getting to know this energy a lot more. You know, I've never looked at her chart. This is my first time. Hope you've enjoyed me unpacking this. If you'd like me to look at your chart just like this, I will unpack the shit out of it. Send in your requests. Go to my website now and book me and send in your details, and I'd love to look at your chart. I will conduct the reading just like this and send it through, and I really look forward to hearing from you. I'm just absolutely loving doing this. It's so much fun. Really enjoy it. All right. Come and find me on Patreon. My handle is Goliath_occultist. If you have a question for me, leave it in the comments below and I will check it out. Bye, bye, bye.